Hey, good morning, everyone. Can you confirm audible or not? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. So, where we stopped in the last session, what we discussed the last session, Hmm?
About fine.
we discussed about arguments, right? Different types of arguments we discussed or not? Different types of arguments. Can anyone tell me? Okay, which arguments we discussed yesterday's session?
Formal.
First one is like formal arguments, terminology wise. Okay, the next one is like actual arguments. Okay, tell me which arguments we can say like a formal. Very simple. I have one function. I have one function. Inside this one we have a function body like this. Okay, a comma b. Now whenever you call a function, you have to supply two values or not. Yes, in this particular code snippet, a comma b we can say like what, and 1020 we can say like what in this particular code snippet. Come on, terminology wise.
Comma be formal.
A comma b you can simply say like a formal arguments, formal arguments, formal arguments. And 1020 whatever the values you pass to this particular function while calling, those we can say like a actual or not, actual arguments. Okay, that's it. This is the first step, formal and actual. Okay, done. Next one, come on.
Used to position.
The next one is like positional arguments. The next, keyword
You
arguments, keyword arguments. Next,
default.
default arguments. Next, variable, variable length arguments. Next,
Keyword.
variable length arguments. Next, come on,
Keyword variable.
keyword variable length argument or not. Keyword variable length arguments. These are the different types of arguments we have. Positional arguments still. Positional arguments. Which arguments we can say like a positional arguments? See, while defining a function, now these arguments you said, right? Formal arguments. The formal arguments come under positional only. See, first position which argument is there? A. Second position which argument is there? Okay, B, right? So two arguments in two positions we have or not? Yes or no? So if I call F1, okay, of 10, then the 10, what is the error? If I call F1 of 10, what is the error? Exact error message is what? What is the error message?
Keyword.
Come on, F1 of 10. F1 of 10. A position, the value is like what? 10. But my B position, did you supply any value? Did you supply any value? No. You can get the error or not. What exactly the error was? What exactly the error was? Come
Position.
on. Missing positional argument B or not? Sorry. Missing one positional argument or not? Okay, that means you supplied a value to this particular position, but you not supply the value to this particular position or not. That's the reason you can get this error, missing positional argument. Now, if I write like f1 of 10 comma 20, f1 of 10 comma 20. Okay, there is no error, nothing. There is no error, nothing. F1 of 10 comma 20 comma 30. Hmm? You can get the error or not? Yes or no? What is the error?
Front take two positional
Okay,
arguments.
expected two positional arguments, but supplied how many? But received how many? Received three or not? Like this, you can get the error or not. Positional argument is nothing but while defining a function, how many arguments you defined, those arguments, first position, first argument, second position, second argument, like that. So whenever you call a function, okay, to that particular position, first position you have to supply one value, second position you have to supply one value or not, yes or no, as per the number of arguments list. Yeah, as per the number of arguments list you have to supply the values or not, yes or no, first position, second position, third position, like that. Okay, you know this one, but terminology wise we can say like what, positional argument. In the position, first position argument is what, a, second position argument is what, b. Okay, these arguments come under formal also, no problem at all, you can say like a formal. But specifically if you want to tell, those are like what, positional arguments or not. First position a, second position is like b. The next one, come on, the next one, keyword arguments, right? Tell keyword arguments. Keyword arguments, while calling a function, hmm, instead of supplying the values directly, can you pass the values with some keys? Possibility there or not there? While calling a function, instead of, while calling a function, instead of supplying the values, can you pass these values with some keys also? The keys are what now? The keys are what now? Your parameter names, arguments names or not, a comma b. Now if I write like this, okay, a equals to 100, b equals to 200, valid or invalid? So it means what, my a argument value is like b, my b argument a argument value is like 100, my b argument value is like 200 or not, yes or no? If you observe this particular format, we are passing the data not like a simple values, you are passing like what, with the key value pairs or not, yes or no? Okay, now what is my f1 here, f1, what is my a value? Okay, see, you supplied a value is like what, 100. And what is my b value? Here, the name should match. B value is like 200 or not. Now, if I write like this, f1, b equals to 200, a equals to 100, is it valid or invalid? Is it valid or invalid? 100% valid. Here, order not a matter or not. Okay, here order matters. If I place 10, 20, then the time a value 10, b value 20. If I place 20, 10, no, a value 20, b value 10 or not. Yes or no? That's the reason. Okay, just see. Here, f1, a equals to 100, b equals to 200. A value 100, b value 200. If I write like this, b equals 200, a equals to 100, no problem at all. Okay, why? Because exactly whatever the keys you used, those values supplied to that particular keys only. Here, order not a matter. Here, the b value is what, 200 only. Here also b value is what, 200 only or not. Here my a value is what, 100. Here also my a value is what, 100 only or not. Agree with me? Come on. Okay, here order not a matter. Now, if I write like this, valid or invalid. Okay, if I write like this, valid or invalid. If I write like this, valid or invalid. If I write like this, valid or invalid. Tell me, these two are valid or invalid. These two are valid or invalid.
Valid.
Okay, fn, f1. That's okay. Fn, you can write a fn function. What's wrong with that one? Can I define a function like this? What is my function name? Fn. Tell me. First one, valid or invalid? First one, valid. Second one,
Valid.
valid. Third one,
Not valid.
invalid. What is the error? Hmm. Missing keyword
Valid.
argument. Keyword argument. What is that keyword argument? Yeah. Otherwise, it may get like you not supply the value for the B, right? Okay, missing positional parameter value as what? B, right? Missing positional parameter. Positional parameter. What is the value? B. This one. Hmm. Positional parameter should follows keyword arguments or not? Yes or no? But here what happened? Keyword argument is following the positional parameter, right? But the positional parameter value should follows keyword argument or not. Okay, here
Multiple values for argument
supplied
A.
multiple values for the A value or not? For A or not? Supplied multiple values to A or not? Yes or no? Next, this one. No,
Positional number.
no
No.
keyword argument. The name of what? The name of what? C, right? No keyword argument with the name of C or not? Yes or no? Okay. So let me execute. Okay, yesterday we discussed about default argument also, no? Okay. We not executed, we can execute the default argument. Let's go. Let me open our workspace folder. Go to Python, Jupyter notebook, open command prompt. What is the command? So first, in your mission Python is there or not there? How we can check? In your mission Python is there or not there? How we can check?
Python type.
Okay, just you can type like a p1. Okay, what is pip? Hmm?
Package installer for
Package installer for Python or not? How we can get the pip if the pip is not available? How you can make it available? When you can get the pip? When the pip is available to you in your mission. I mean, when the pip is available. Hmm?
download Python version.
Whenever you install Python, okay, 12 plus. I mean, 3.12 is there, right? Okay. By default, pip is available. No need to set the path, nothing. So latest Python version, if you install, by default, pip is available. Okay, once pip is available, what is the next step? Once pip is available, how we can make the Jupyter is available in your machine?
Pip pip install JIT.
Yeah, pip install Jupyter or not? Yes or no? Once Jupyter is available, how we can run the notebook? Jupyter notebook or not? JUP, right? Okay. Yesterday functions too, no? Function. Which one you used yesterday? So I think this one, right? Okay. Okay. Now see the error messages, the keyword arguments. This is my function, actual function. Now, if you pass like this, there is nothing, there is no problem at all. If you pass like this, take two personal arguments, but three given. So it is like an error. The next one is like extra one keyword argument. If you pass, see, got an expected keyword argument is like C. You missed one keyword argument, then that time one positional argument is like what? Missing one required positional argument is like B or not. If you pass like this, then that time my positional argument should follows the keyword argument or not. Positional argument follows the keyword argument. If I write like this, okay, got multiple values for the argument A or not. Yes or no? Agreed? Okay, then let's go with the default arguments. Tell me when you can go with the default argument. Give me one scenario. Yesterday we discussed, right? I want to find the customer product cost. Okay, here the case is like what? Each and every product cost is like what? 100 only. 100 only. Most of the products cost is like 100 only. Okay, how many items you can take it? You have to find the cost. Okay, so calculate cost. Here, number of items, one positional parameter. The next one is what? Cost, right? Cost. Okay, here return number of items into cost. Done. Okay, now the first customer take two items. Calculate cost. Okay, two items he taken. Each and every item is like 100 rupees. Okay, now you can get the total cost is like 200 or not. Second person take like five items. Okay, the cost is like 100. Third person, same like this only. If you observe these calls, see the number of items are like vary from one customer to another customer, but the cost of the item is like same or not. If it is like same, then why we need to pass this data? If you miss, then the time you can get the error or not. In this case, how we can handle? If any parameter or any argument value is common for each and every call, then the time, instead of passing the value every time, instead of passing the value, the same value for each and every call, okay, can you set the value? Can you set that value as a default to that particular parameter? Yes or no? Instead of passing that same value for every call, can you set the default value for that particular parameter? Okay, how we can set it? Now my cost is like 100 common. So can I write like this? Yes or no? First of all, it is syntactically valid or invalid? Syntactically valid or invalid? I set the default value for this particular positional parameter. Is it like valid or invalid?
Valid.
100% valid. 100% valid. Now line number 3, if I execute, okay, this one, if I execute, it's valid or invalid? This one, this statement is valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid or invalid? These
Valid.
statements are valid only. Valid only. But is it recommended way of calling? Is it recommended way of calling? No, right? So my cost, my first customer take 10 items. So 10 number of items. First parameter is like a 10. Second parameter there or not there? Second parameter is there or not there? Tell me. Second parameter is there or not there? Not there. If the second parameter is not there, immediately it's not gives me an error. First, it is going to check to that particular second parameter, is there any default value assigned or not? If the default value assigned, that particular value only it is going to use instead of throwing an error or not. So in this case, it is like 100% valid statement. My output is like 1000. For example, if this value, default value is not there, then if the default value is not there, then if the default value is not there, then
So we are going to get an error.
you are going to get an error or not. What is that error? In the first position, you supplied value. From a second position, it is not supplied the value. So that, okay, missing one required positional parameter value, B value cost. Okay, now can I execute this one? Can I execute this one? Now you can get the error is like what? Missing one required positional argument is like cost or not? Yes or no?
I
So
have a
that,
doubt here.
yeah.
So in the above example, can you
This
sum
one,
up more?
which one?
Just up. Just
Statement,
scroll
statement number.
above that, like we haven't declared the value of B, but we declared the value.
Which one? Line number, tell me. Statement number.
Statement. This one, 12th one.
12th one. Now A value is like what? 100. B value is like what?
Here is
Okay, 100.
100.
But it is syntax error. Why? Because in your call, if you pass like a keyword arguments and positional argument values like this, my positional argument should follows the keyword argument. That means keyword argument should last. Positional argument you have to pass first. This is syntactically invalid first. It is not start the execution. It is syntax itself wrong.
So below So now we have discussed one more function that's called cost. Here, default value we have given 100, right?
Yes. Yes.
So here is it following the same
No, here
tactical
it's a definition. Okay, here it is a calling. The difference here.
calling? Okay.
It's a
Function
definition.
calling
It's
is
a calling. Okay. Got my point?
Okay.
Default value is always set at the time of definition. Keyword arguments always pass at the time of calling.
Okay. Function calling and the function definition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So come here. Now tell me the value is what? It is not gives me any error. Now you can get the output, right? What is my output? Okay, 10 is there. So that the second value not passed. So it is not throw any error. The default value is already set. So number of items 10, 10 into 100. So you can get the output is like what? 1000 or not? Yes or no? Agreed? Now, if I write like this, is it valid or invalid? If I write like this, is it valid, invalid?
Valid.
It is 100% valid, right? Okay, when the default values come into the picture, if you not supply the value, it is going to check for the default value. Still it is not there, it gives me an error. But now you supplied the value, then that time it is not looking for the default value. What is my cost? Number of items like 2, the cost is like what? 200 or not? Okay, so 2 into 200, so as usual it gives me 400. So when my default values come into the picture means if you not supply the value for that particular positional parameter, positional argument or not. Agreed everyone about the default? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now if I write like this, syntactically valid or invalid? Syntactically valid or invalid?
Valid.
Syntactically valid or invalid? Okay, can you read this one and tell? Read it and tell. What is this? It is syntax error. It is syntax error. See, execution not yet started. Syntax error means you have to follow that rule. You have to follow that guideline. You not followed that guideline, so that execution not started. Before that only, it's tell you like what? Parameter without default follows parameter with default or not. That means what? Here, 1, 2, 3 parameters are there. Parameter with default, parameter with default, parameter without default. What is that? Parameter without default should follows what? Parameter without default should follows what? Parameter with default or not, so that you have to syntactically it is a valid or not. Yes or no? Come on. So if you want to set the default values at the time of defining a function, you should have to keep those default value parameters at last, not like a starting. Okay, so if you come here, now it is like valid or not. Okay, now if I write like D, valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid or invalid? Again, no, right? This is parameter without default or with default? D. With default or without default? Without default.
Without default.
Sorry. Without default, as per our thumb rule, without default should follows what? With default, right? So with default, this. Without default, this one. So without default should follows with default, right? So that if you want to make it like a valid statement, first of all, like this you have to write. Understood? One. Agreed, everyone? Tell me. So what is the thumb rule? Whenever you define a function, my parameter without default should follows parameter with default. Parameter without default should follows parameter with default. Otherwise, you can get the error. Okay, it is not like a runtime error. It is like a syntax error or not. It is not like a runtime error. It is like a syntax error or not. Agreed? Up here, okay? Come on.
Yes.
Any questions so far? Okay. I have one small requirement. I want to write a function, find the sum of two numbers. So we can write it in general. Simply you can write, right? Okay, write a function, find the sum of two numbers. Then write a function, find the sum of two numbers. 1 comma 2. 100% valid, you know that. Okay. Another person said like, hey, I need a function, sum of three numbers. What you can do? First person said like, find the sum of two numbers. Second person said like, find the sum of three numbers. Come on. How we can write? Again, you can write like, this is sum 2. You can write one more, sum 3, a comma b comma c. Okay, print to a plus b plus c or not. 100% valid syntax. 100% valid syntax. Okay, if you call sum 3, sum 3, 1 comma 2 comma 3, you can get the valid output only. There is no doubt at all. There is no doubt at all. Now, one person said like sum of two numbers, another person said like sum of three numbers. Like this, I have 100 members over there. Each and every person, they want, okay, for example, first person, one number sum you want, second person two number sum, third person three number sum. Like this 100 members are there. Tell me how many functions are required. Okay, 99% required the sum of 99 parameter or 99 values. 99% find the sum. He want to find the sum of 99 numbers. 95% he want to find the sum of 95 numbers. Tell me, you want me to, in this case, if you want to satisfy for each and every person, how many functions you have to define? How many functions you have to define? If you want to satisfy for each and every person, how many functions you have to define? Second function, you written one function, find the sum of two numbers. Third person, you written one function, find the sum of three numbers. Fourth person, one more function. Fifth person, one more function. Like this, how many functions required for you to satisfy each and every person? Come on, general. How many functions required? How many functions you want me to define? 100 members are there. 100 functions you have to define or not? Yes or no? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. How many functions required? 100 functions required or not? Yes or no? Now tell me, you want me to define 100 functions? Okay. There has one more 100 people added. Then the time you want me to write one more 100 functions. Is it recommended one? 200%. It's not a recommended one or not. So is there any other approach is there? If I give two numbers, find the sum of two numbers. If I give 10 numbers, find the sum of 10 numbers. If I give 20, find the sum of 20 numbers. With one function, can you manage? Is it possible or not possible? That is the question. Instead of writing 100 functions to find the sum of 100 different numbers, don't write or don't define 100 functions. Can you define only one function? Can you manage, okay, all these 100 members find the sum? If you 55%, give like 55 values, you can find the sum of 55. Like that. Anyone? How we can? Okay, that requirement we can think later. First thing is like, write one function, right? Only one function, right? Write a function which can hold any number of parameters. If I write a function like this particular function hold how many parameters? Tell me. It particular function holds how many parameters? Two only. Okay. If I pass like more or less, you know, the error, positional argument error, you can get it. If I write like this, how many parameters is going to take? Three only. But my question is, write a function which can hold any number of parameters. That is the question. Write a function which can hold any number of parameters, any number of values. Then you can go with what?
So for loop, can we
No, my question is write a function, not a for loop. Write a function which can hold any number of parameters. Come on. If I write like this, everyone knows. Okay. Everyone knows. Okay. Fn 10 comma 20. 10 comma 20. 10 20 printed. If I write like this, you know the error. If I write like this, you know the error. You know the error. Yes or no? Come on. Yes or no? But our
Yes.
requirement is not this one. Write a function which should handle or which should hold any number of parameters. Then we don't go with this positional parameters like this. We have one more argument is there. What is that? One more argument is there. What is that? Position,
Variable.
keyword, default, and variable length. Variable
Variable.
length argument or not. So can I hold the number of values, any number of values with only one argument, that is like a variable length argument. Now you can see this variable length argument, always you have to mention star with the variable name. Okay, if I write like this, if I remove this star, it can hold how many? It take how many parameters? How many
One.
values it can hold? Only one. Only one. See this. Only one. It is 100% valid. Okay. If I write like this, invalid. Invalid. If I remove this one, invalid only or not. Invalid only or not. But I don't want like this. It can hold any number of parameters. Then you can go with the keyword argument. How we can? How we can mention the keyword argument? Just put like star. That's it. Okay, na? Now my syntax is valid or not? Yes. Are you passing any value? Is it gives me any error? Any error? How many values you passed? Okay. How many values you passed? Is it gives me any error? No, right?
No.
So if you want to hold the number of values, then that time you can go with what? If you want a function which can hold any number of parameter values, then that time you can go with what? Keyword argument or not. How we can write the keyword argument syntactically? Star that argument name. That's it. Now come to our requirement. I want to find the sum, na? Yes or no? So can anyone guess how we can find the sum? 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 10 numbers. Okay, tell me how we can find the sum. Def sum. Sum. Tell me. Values, for example. Here. You have a keyword argument. Keyword argument hold the values in which format? First question. Keyword argument hold all your values in which format? What is the data type? Keyword argument hold any number of values. You can pass, no problem at all. With which data type it hold the data?
Integer.
No, this data type, tuple,
Set.
right? Tuple. It is a tuple or not? Curly brace is like a set. Square bracket is like a list. This one is like what? Tuple or not?
Tuple.
So my values is which type? My values is which type? Tuple, right?
Tuple.
It's a sequence. It's a sequence. If you have a sequence by using for loop, can we iterate? Okay, how we can iterate? For my val inside values or not? So here, can I write like my sum? Okay, my result equals to 0 by default. Whatever the value you can get it, can you add that value to my result? Now, once it is done, now can I print the result? Now, can I execute? Yes. Now, sum, if you not pass anything, what is your expected value? Okay, cannot access variable result where it is not associated with the value. Where is that? Spelling mistake, no? Can I change it to result? Result, result, result. Is okay now? Now come here. Can I define? Sum is like what? 0 or not? If I pass like 2, 3. Yes. If I pass like now, working or not? Yes or no? In JavaScript, if you know, this is like a REST parameter. In JavaScript, we can say like a REST parameter. Okay. Now, the values which holds any number of parameter. Why? Because it's like a keyword argument. Okay. Now, in which format it is holding the values? In the tuple format. Tuple is a sequence. In the first iteration, first value you can get it. First value is like a 2. 2. Okay. Result is like a 0. 0 plus 2. 2. Okay, next iteration. Okay, 2 plus something. Next iteration, like this, all the iterations completed. After that, it comes to this block and print result or not. Okay, this printer, see, inside which block? For loop or summa? Print inside which block? Sum or for? Sum, right? Sum, right? Why? Because the indentation, if you follow to this particular block, it is follow this statement, indentation or not. But this statement follow the indentation to this particular block or not. Yes or no? Agreed, everyone? So far good. In your requirement, you don't know when you can go with this approach. Can anyone tell me when you can go with the variable length argument? When you can go with the variable length argument? Can anyone guess? Okay, in this particular scenario, variable length argument you should have to use like that. When? Okay, simple. I have a function. Okay, I don't know how many values coming from outside to pass that particular function. I don't have any clarity. Okay, sometimes 2 values are coming from some other person from backend or whatever, wherever it is. Okay, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. I don't know exact values. Okay, to pass that particular function. Then the time, how you can define a function? You want me to define a function with 2 parameters, 3 parameters, 10 parameters. You don't know exactly how many values you are getting to pass that particular function. Then the time, don't go with the hard-coded parameters or not. Go with what? Don't go with the hard-coded values or not. Then go with what? Come on. Keyword arguments. Okay, keyword variable length. Variable length arguments or not. You don't have a clarity on the values, how many you are passing to that particular function. You don't have a clarity, number of values, how many values you are going to pass to that particular function. Then you can go with variable length argument. Understood? Come on. The
Yes.
next one is like simply you can say like what? Okay, in this case, okay, sometimes 2 values find the sum, sometimes 10 values, sometimes 20 values. I want to perform some operation based on supplied values. I don't know the values. Then the time you can go with the variable length argument or not. Okay. Okay, then. Now, the okay, valid or invalid? Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Okay, syntactically valid. What is my A value? What is my B value?
A value is 10, B value is
A value 10, B value is what?
20, 30.
20, 30 in which format?
Tuple format.
Tuple format or not? A value is like a 10, B value is like what? 20, 30 in the tuple format or not? Yes or no? Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Why invalid?
First argument takes all values.
Yeah, this is my first parameter, right? This first parameter, if you pass 10, 20, 30, all the values who taken? This one taken. But B, there is no values or not. So it's like an untraceable statement. There is no use. That the reason. Okay, can anyone expect the error message? Can anyone expect the error message? Any one of you expect the error message? Come on. Now come here. Is it like valid or invalid? Now can you come here? Okay, syntactically there is nothing, but while calling this particular function, then what happened? All the values who taken? All the values who taken? Come on, 10, 20 who taken? A taken. What is my B? What is my B value? There is no value go to the B or not. That means this particular position will never get the value or not. That's the reason you can get this error or not. Agreed? Come on.
Sir,
All are okay? Any questions so
sir,
far? Yeah, go ahead.
sir, can we give a default value to B here?
Okay, you can if you set okay, if you set like this, okay, syntactically valid or invalid? Syntactically valid or invalid? First, line number 50 I'm executing. Syntactically valid or invalid? 100% valid. Okay, now if you set the default value, some value set or not, so that my value B is what? 100. When you can get the error if the value is not supplied, right? Okay, now you value supplied. Okay, so that the value is like what? 100 or not? Agreed? Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, if the value is not there, then only you can get the error. Why? Because in Python, each and every parameter should assign with some value or not. But here, the value is not passing to the B, so that it is going to give me an error. As you said, if you give like something like this, what is my value? 200. If you not supply also, the default value is what? 200. So in Python, if you supply the value to the parameter, there is no issue or not. Agreed? All are okay? So far good? Any questions?
So,
Yeah, good.
can you explain the each concept with a real-time example? I think we have a live project in the last.
Yeah, we are going see these all basic concepts only we are going to use based on our business requirements. For example, for loop is there, tuple is there, list is there. Based on our business requirement, we are going to use at last. Okay, first comfort with the basic concepts. After that, these concepts only we are going to use in our end-to-end application. Okay, the next one is like we are going to connect with the database and get the data. Okay, the next one is like we are going to use like a pandas. Okay, connect with the database and work with the data analytics. Okay, that time we are going to use these concepts as part of the requirement. These are like basic concepts. Okay, now entire requirement if you discuss also, the requirement, entire requirement, it is not work with this concept, right? So that once you complete all the concepts, these concepts we are going to use in our requirement. Got my point? Okay, if you take the requirement also, this particular code snippet satisfied, it's not satisfied the entire requirement. That's the reason first comfort with the concepts. After that, once you come to the requirement, all the concepts you learn so that you can easily use any one of the concept based on the requirement or not. Now we not complete all the concepts, right? If you take any requirement also, it is like not fulfilled with our concepts what we covered.
Okay.
Okay, at last, okay, these all concepts we are going to use.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, anyone? This is variable length arguments. The next one is what? The next one.
Keyword variable length.
Keyword variable length arguments, right? Keyword variable length. You know, right? Keyword arguments. You know about the keyword arguments or not? Okay, for example, I have again, okay, def, fn, okay, a, print a, print a. Okay, if I write like this, okay, 100% valid. For example, if I write 10 comma 20 comma 30, valid or invalid? This one also 100% valid or not. For example, if I supply, okay, the values while calling a function with some keywords, okay, possibility there or not there. With keywords, we can call a function or not. With keyword arguments, we can call a function. Yes or no? Tell me. With
Yes.
keyword arguments, we can call a function. Yes, no? Yes. Now, if you come here, okay, it gives me something like what? Okay, got unexpected keyword argument like a, something like that or not? Yes or no? Why? Because here, a is not like a normal member or not. A is like what? You defined like what? Variable length argument or not? So, if you define a variable length argument like this, it is work with only values. For example, in your hand, okay, key value pairs, keyword arguments are there in your hand. You don't know how many keyword arguments are going to supply. Okay, see here, you don't know how many values, sometimes 3, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. But the same scenario you can apply here. I have in my hand, I have some keyword arguments. I don't know. Sometimes 2 keyword arguments, sometimes 10 keyword arguments, sometimes 20 keyword arguments. Now, my question is how you handle the values, okay, in your function. Same like this, can you handle the keyword arguments also? Any number of keyword arguments can you handle? Any number of keyword arguments can you hold? Any number of values, how you hold? Only values, how you hold? By using variable length argument or not? Now my requirement is what? Values are keyword arguments are any number of keyword arguments or values, our requirement now. My
Keyword.
requirement is like keyword arguments or not. Okay, now you can delete this cell. Now come here, where is that? Control G. Now you can write df fn, yeah, okay, print yeah, you can call it. Now if you come here, this is my expected output. Now this time I want to handle not values, I want to hold the keyword arguments or not. Now if you come here, now if you see this, how it looks like, any number of keyword arguments it is hold or not, it is hold or not. Yes or no? D equals to 40, okay, E equals to 50. These all keyword arguments able to hold or not. Now tell me, this is in which format hold the values? If it is like only values, you use it like a keyword argument. In which format it hold all the values? Tuple. Okay, now you pass like keyword arguments. In which format it hold the keyword arguments? In the dictionary format or not? But here the syntax is what? One star or double star? One star means values. Now if you come here, values. But if you have a keyword arguments, then the time my syntax should be what? Okay, you can add like a double star. Now it hold your keyword arguments in which format? Can anyone guess? What is this format? What is this format? Key value, key value, key value. It's a which format? Data format is what? What is that?
Dictionary.
Dictionary, right? Set means only values. Okay, curly brace only. Set also curly brace. Okay, if it is set like this, 10, 20, 30, only values. But here, curly brace with key value, key value, key value. Is it like set or dictionary? Is it like set or dictionary? Dictionary, right? It is like a dictionary or not? Agreed? Come on. All are okay. If you want to hold any number of values, you can go with the variable length argument. If you want to hold any number of keyword arguments, then you can go with the keyword variable length argument or not. Syntactically, the difference is what? One star, double star. That's it. Any questions so far? Anyone have any questions? Hmm? Is it okay or not? Shall we move to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one is like anonymous functions. The next topic is like anonymous functions or lambda functions. Okay, tell me what is anonymous in general.
There is no name once.
Yeah, if you don't have any name for that particular function, we can say like most of the times anonymous functions or not. If I write like this, okay, it is like a normal function only. Normal function only. If you have a normal function, okay, if you see this syntax, the function name is there or not there. Okay, here my function name is like what? Fn or not. My function name is like fn. Once you know the name of the function, you can call it or not. Okay, how many times you can call? Any number of times you can call it or not. Okay, if you know this name, anybody can call it or not. Yes or no? Tell me. I have a function. Okay, if you know the function, you, some other person, how many people knows about that particular function name? They can call it or not. Yes or no? Okay, first person knows, they call. Second person knows, they call. Third person knows, they call. If they know function name, anybody can call. There is no restrictions or not. Yes or no? First question. Yes or no? But my requirement is what, I need a function, but I want only one time operation. Just I want to call only one time. If it is only the requirement, is it the right approach or not? See, my question is, I need a function. I want to use it only one time. Do you want me to go with the named function? If you go with the named function, then what happened? You define a function. You defined a function. You want only one time to use it, so you use it. Okay, perfect. But some X person knows about that function, so that, okay, he try to call it. Are you able to restrict? No. Some Y person know about the function, he also try to call it. Are you able to stop it? No, right? If you have the name to that particular function, anybody can call it or not. Yes or no? But my requirement is I need a function. There is no other way. I want to perform some operation with the function only. I need a function, but that function I want to use only one time. Then that time you want me to go with the named function, you want me to go with the anonymous function, tell me, based on the requirement. Tell me. Anonymous function, right? Why? Because if the named function, yes, your requirement satisfied, but extra thing is what? Some X person know about the function name, he is trying to call. Some Y person know about the function name, he is going to call it. Remaining people, all whoever know about the function name, they can call it or not. I am not able to restrict them. I'm not able to restrict them. Yes, no. Agree with me, all? Are in this case, if you have any one-time operation, okay, I need a function, I want to use myself, okay, only I want to use, then that time, instead of go with the named function, can I go with the anonymous function? Anonymous function means what? No name. Okay, if the name is not there, outside people, how they can call? Outside people don't know about the name, how they can call? They cannot or not. Yes or no? Understood, everyone? So first thing is like what you have to learn. So far I know how to create the named function or not. This is the named function. How to create a function with the name. So far I know that one. But now I want to create a function with name or without name. I want to create a function with name or without name. Come on, come on. I want to create a function without name or not. Okay, so in Python, how we can create a function without name? If you create a function without name, what we can call? Those functions we can call like a anonymous functions or not. Yes or no? In Python, how we can create an anonymous function? By using one keyword called as a lambda keyword. Already in the keywords list, this particular keyword is there or not there? This keyword is there or not there? Lambda. This
There.
particular keyword is there. This particular keyword is there. By using this lambda keyword, we can create a function. We can create a function without any name. Okay, so how we can create this particular function, we'll see in the next session. So any questions, anyone? Okay, these all are very, very important, the functions. Okay, just go through this one because in future we are not specifically this is like a keyword arguments, this is like a default arguments, not. Okay, most of the times you can see this particular syntax repeatedly. Okay, that time you should not confuse. Okay, this particular syntax, if you say, oh, this is like a keyword arguments, variable length argument, if you see like this is like a keyword argument, if you see like this is like a positional argument, like this you can come to know. Again, we not discuss there. Okay, okay, then thank you guys, thanks for joining. We'll continue my things in tomorrow's session. Bye.